Good morning, everyone. This is Nicole Ali, and I wanted to have a little bit of a discussion about Fukushima fallout. This comes from MPN News. I'll leave a link in the description box. It's mintpressnews.com. I hope everyone is doing well today, Sunday, November 25th, 2018. It's 8:01 a.m. as you can see on the screen. So Fukushima fallout, the irradiated sailors of the USS Ronald Reagan. If you've been watching the Radical Sister, formerly known as the Radical Home Goddess, we know her as Sister Ajali. Peace to her, peace to the family. She has talked about Fukushima ad nauseum, and I don't know if people are really understanding the purpose for her putting out that information and what we can do to prevent any further damage to us physically and therefore biologically. But this article goes into detail about American soldiers on the USS Ronald Reagan that were exposed to radiation from Fukushima. Many of them were sick. Some of them have died. I think at this point more have died than what they have listed. And they want to know, the question for this article was, why can't they get justice? And the easy answer to that question is that none of the governmental agencies are taking responsibility. So in Japan, for instance, they've had several families and large communities of people who have tried to sue the electrical plant, the power plant there, TEPCO, the Tokyo Electrical Power Company or something like that. They tried to sue TEPCO. They've lost there in Japan, and they probably will see the same fate here in the U.S. So they've not covered the USS Ronald Reagan, what happened that day, that fateful day, March 3rd, 2011, when Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant basically was dismantled after a earthquake triggered a tsunami that killed thousands of people. Many of them are still lost even to this day. They don't know where they are. So this German magazine was referring to the saga of the American Nimitz-class nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, whose crew pitched in to help the victims. March 11th, not March 3rd. Sorry, 3/11/11. So March 11, 2011, tsunami and earthquake in Japan. They found themselves under the radioactive plume from the stricken coastal nuclear reactors at Fukushima. So since that day, crew members in the eye-popping numbers have come down with unexplained illnesses, more than 70 and still counting. Some have died and many of them are suing, as they should. The USS Reagan was part of Operation Tomodachi, a U.S. Armed Forces mission involving 24,000 U.S. service members and numerous ships and aircraft bringing aid to the victims of the tsunami and earthquake. So they said January this year, a federal judge in San Diego dismissed the class action lawsuit. So you can see what's happening here. They have Cooper et al. Versus Tokyo Electric Power Company Incorporated. That's TEPCO. Was filed in San Diego, the home port of the USS Reagan, on December 21st, 2012. And it's 2018, and they still have not paid these people or given them any kind of settlement whatsoever. They don't even want to listen to their claims. So I'm going to leave the link, like I said, in the description box. I'm going to float down here. Come on down. So what they have here is a floating pariah. The ship, of course, has to be, as they say, decontaminated. But there's really no way to decontaminate radiation. I want you to go to Gwen B's channel and look up her video called Radiation 101 to give you more information about radiation, more information about the risks of radiation exposure and what could happen to your body. In small quantities, you can be affected at low doses, meaning you have acute exposure, short-term exposure, or you can be affected long-term exposure. Either way, it's about the health of you yourself and the type of radiation you're being exposed to, as well as the time and distance. The time and distance is important. And to me, they say the time and distance is important for your exposure level and how sick you will be. I say reduce exposure to 0 as much as you can. And if not, you can always chelate out the radiation. There are different things you can use to chelate it out, such as baking soda, DMSO, things like that. The Radical Sister has a lot of information on her channel about chelating out these radioactive nuclides. She has a very comprehensive live stream she did months ago where she talked about how to survive radioactive Armageddon. You know, that's what you're facing when you're dealing with Fukushima and the effects of that. So I'll leave you to peruse this article and maybe some other articles that may interest you. I'll talk to you in the next video. Y'all have a great day.